This is Business Week Armenia, ＳiviLNeT's weekly economic digest. Here's what's making headlines in Armenia this week. In macroeconomic news, Armenia's gross domestic product increased by 5.9% last year, falling short of the government's 7% target and marking the clearest sign yet that the country's economic growth is now moderating following 2 strong years of expansion. That is according to official figures published last week by Armenia's state-run statistical committee, which now estimates the overall value of the country's economy at about $25.6 billion. That means Armenia remains the smallest economy in the region in nominal terms. It puts GDP per capita at just under $8,500, squarely within the World Bank's definition of an upper-middle income country. The newly released numbers show double-digit growth in real estate and construction, finance and insurance, wholesale and retail trade, information and communications, and energy. Manufacturing and agriculture expanded by more modest figures. That was tempered by declines in public administration spending, mining, transport and logistics, education, and healthcare. Inflation averaged 0.3% last year, well below the central bank's 3% medium-term target. Foreign trade surged by 41.5% to nearly $30 billion, an all-time high, in large part due to Armenia's emergence as a key hub for the re-export of Russian gold and diamonds. The figures suggest Armenia's economy is now approaching the central bank's 5% estimate of the country's long-term sustainable growth potential after 2 years of strong growth fueled largely by knock-on effects of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in early 2022. That year, Armenia's economy grew by 12.6%, followed by a further 8.3% expansion the year after, as the country welcomed massive inflows of capital and labor from Russia, while a significant portion of international trade with Moscow was rerouted through Yerevan. On balance, observers are forecasting 5% growth this year. Ambitious plans by Armenia's national electric utility to overhaul Yerevan's aging power grid are expected to reduce the frequency of outages in the city by up to 98% over the coming years. That is according to David Grigoryan, technical director at Electric Networks of Armenia, or ENA, who joined ＳiviLNeT in studio last week to discuss the project. Grigoryan revealed that by the end of next year, ENA plans to lay 21 to 24 miles of new underground cables across Yerevan and renovate 54 substations as part of an effort to set up a dual power supply for the city. Those upgrades, plus the installation of a smart meter monitoring system, mean that Yerevan's power supply will not be cut even if the primary cable fails, Grigoryan said. ENA, which holds a monopoly on Armenia's power distribution system and was taken over by Russian-Armenian billionaire Samvel Karapetyan in 2015, has faced mounting public criticism since last summer, when outages started becoming increasingly frequent across Yerevan. At the time, senior executives deflected blame, saying the Russian holding company that ran the utility until Karapetyan's takeover failed to maintain the grid. Still, the company acknowledged that work needed to be done, unveiling plans to spend $765 million on modernization efforts through 2036. Those efforts are particularly pressing given rising demand in Yerevan, which has seen an increase of some 68,000 new subscribers over the past 3 years, according to Grigoryan. In addition, peak power usage has shifted from the New Year holiday period to July-August, driven by increased air conditioning use, business expansion, and rising living standards, Grigoryan added. For his part, Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan has admitted that the state of the power grid has become a serious problem. While dismissing speculation his government could nationalize ENA or take other steps to break the company's monopoly. For more, you can find our full write-up of Grigoryan's interview up now on SivilNet.am or through the link in the video description below. You can also find our latest investigation into the Armenian government's ongoing criminal probes connected to the Zangezur copper molybdenum combine, the country's largest and most profitable enterprise. Last week, SivilNeT reporters published a new public interest investigation revealing that Armenian law enforcement opened a new criminal case related to the company last month, alleging the Zangezur Combine extracted more ore from the mine than contractually allowed between 2015 and 2017. The development had not been previously reported. Another ongoing criminal probe alleges former executives used the enterprise as a front for money laundering between 2018 and 2020. It marks just the latest headache for the Zangezur Combine, which made headlines earlier this month when hundreds of employees launched an unprecedented 11-day strike demanding higher wages and better working conditions. The work stoppage ended after senior management agreed to increase salaries by an average of 20% and upgraded employees' healthcare plans. The company says it incurred daily losses of about $1 million during the strike. The Zangezur Combine plays a key role in Armenia's economy. The sprawling enterprise in Armenia's strategically positioned southernmost Sunnik region employs some 4,600 people and paid upward of $255 million in taxes last year, making it the country's biggest employer and taxpayer. The mine is majority owned by entities linked to Russian oligarch Roman Tratsenko, who is under sanctions by the United States and European Union. The Armenian government owns a nearly 22% minority stake. You can find our full investigation up now on civilnet.am or through the link in the video description below. And as always, please follow CivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.